All right, welcome to the podcast, Turn or Burn, where we got another topic on today. You guys, we are talking about domestic violence on today. Do you know, statistically saying, it says more than 1 in 3 women, which is 36%, and more than 1 in 4 men, which is 28%, in the U.S. will experience rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime. It says nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by the intimate partner in the United States. What do we think about that?
That's just a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And the thing,
say that again. Every 20 what now?
Nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States.
20 people per minute.
Per minute. And the thing about it is, this is just statistics. You know what I'm saying? The numbers could be way more. I mean, because you're thinking about the pandemic and everything that surrounds that, you know.
Right.
So you would imagine that the numbers is growing higher at this time right now. Based
upon, you thinking the pandemic is causing more domestic violence these days?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's causing more. It's either making your home or it's breaking your home. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You know, especially when we was being confined to those
4 walls all day with the same person all day long.
Right. You got to go home to them. You got to stay at home. You better not move. And then so now
ain't no gotta go to work.
No,
ain't no finna run here. Ain't no hanging out at the club for stress relief.
Right. So this gonna determine whether you love or not. You know. So it's just crazy, you know, and so you know that it's on the rise, you know. So domestic violence is on the rise, you know. And
20 people every minute. That's some math.
Yeah. Statistically speaking, on
it.
So I mean, and like it could be more, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just the numbers
probably before the pandemic.
Right. Oh man, ain't no telling what the numbers is, and that's just in the U.S. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
So man, and so you know, and the crazy thing is, it said, you know, and that number, it said 1 in 4 men. You know.
Yeah. So that means you're talking about
a quarter of the men.
Right.
You know.
So how many? And in every ethnic group.
Right. They don't have a breakdown of the ethnic group, but you know, it's just the point of, you know, women and men, you know, they're gonna experience somebody, and they're gonna experience either rape, physical violence, or stalking by somebody they was intimate with in their lifetime.
So what do you think causes domestic violence? Do you think it's pre-marriage, pre-teenage life? Or do you think everyone that's violent towards their partner have always had some kind of adverse situation before the time that they began doing it?
That's a hard question to answer, because it's not me personally. I don't think it's a specific. I think that, you know, domestic violence can go a long way, a whole bunch of ways. It can be jealousy, you know. It can be, you know, just anger issues. It can be patience. It can be just a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just a broad.
So do you think alcohol and drugs?
Oh yeah,
cause it?
Most definitely.
You think it causes it?
Or do you think it's an effect? Contribute? Yeah, it's an effect to it. But but
it brings it to the light.
Right. Because I know
you get that no caring feeling. Once you get high, or once you get drunk, you just you get balls.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh man.
You don't care if the police come.
That's what it do. That's what it's designed to do.
That's what they do. That's what it do to you.
That's what the drug's designed to do to you. So as you guys can see, we are wearing purple to support, you know, the domestic violence awareness, you know. So we want to make sure that that we support it.
Walk away, baby.
Walk away. Hey.
Turn.
Turn.
Don't burn.
Yeah, just turn. Just turn. Don't burn.
Turn, and walk away.
Hey, exactly. That's a good one. So we need y'all to remember that. Just turn, don't burn.
Yeah.
So look, we got a caller on the line, and we'll let her introduce herself. Like I said, the topic is talking about domestic violence, and here's the caller. Caller.
Yes, hi.
Hey, introduce yourself.
My name is Latonya,
Okay.
and it is a pleasure to be here.
It is a pleasure to have you here. So,
Likewise.
Yes, we thank you for joining the Turn or Burn podcast on today. So, if you can, just tell us a little bit of your story.
Okay, well, I'm a 8-year survivor.
Wow,
of
8
domestic
year
violence.
survivor, 8 year
Yes,
survivor.
8
Yeah,
years.
that's something to be very, very proud of because it means that you made it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's truly a blessing. It is a blessing.
It's a relieving feeling.
Actually, October the 31st, well, this year will be 9 years to be exact.
Wow.
So it's been my abuser, which was well, it started for me in well, it happened in October the 31st, 2013 to be
Wow.
exact. That's
You said October the 31st?
yes, on Halloween night.
Wow.
And it was in 2013.
Wow. Did you
And
wait a minute, did you say it started there or it ended there?
well, it ended there. It ended there, but that's where that's where everything ended for me there in that relationship
Okay.
that night
Okay. Wow.
from being in that relationship.
I got you. So, you mind explaining to us or giving us a review of and just get an audience something to go on so that
Well,
Basically,
they'll know what they're looking for in the beginning, around the middle, and and at the end of the relationship, and what caused it, what brought it along.
I'm kind of met this guy. Um, it was like 3 years prior to that I met this guy, and we was in an intimate relationship that didn't turn out good. He was very abusive. Um, Several occasions. Uh, he would. It started when he would be very suspicious of calls. He wanted to know what I was, doing at all times. He wanted to know who I was talking to, and I'm a hairstylist, so I have a lot of male clients. So he would want to know, how long I was in, you know, had them as clients, how long was I friends with them,
So he's pretty
he wanted
jealous.
to,
He's pretty
yes,
jealous.
yes,
Okay.
he wanted to know a lot. He asked a lot of questions that was outrageous to me, like, um, questions I felt, made me uncomfortable.
How long in this relationship how long was it into the relationship before that actually started being visible to you, or you start noticing the questions, or
Well, the questions started in the beginning.
okay.
It started in the beginning of the first year that we were together. And as we were in that first year of being together, I noticed that. Because like I said, I had a lot of male clients. So he would ask, ask who I would be on the phone with, where I was going, who I was talking to, little certain things like that.
Yeah.
And then, within that first year, there were two incidents in the first year. One was when we had a disagreement, and that's the first time he put his hands around my throat,
Okay.
and he choked me until I passed out.
Wow.
That was the first incident within the first year.
And what happened when you woke up? I mean, you say you passed out. So was he there or present
He
when
was
you?
right there.
He was right there.
Yeah, he was right there. He was when I woke up, he was carrying me in the house, and
Mm.
he was crying.
So he did this outside.
Yes, I was outside getting out of my truck,
Mm. Wow.
and when I woke up, he was carrying me in the house, and I remember him crying a lot, saying that he was sorry, he would never do that again. Forgive him, please forgive him. He don't know what he was thinking, all this and that. So it was and me, uh, I wanted to forgive him because I'm like, uh, he seemed like he's sincere,
Hmm.
because he's crying, he was like, he seemed like he was sorry for what he had done. And he told me that he'll never do it again. And I believed him.
Mm.
So do you think drugs played a factor in the?
Well, I can't say right off the bat. I can't say that.
Okay.
I can't say that that was the issue right off the bat because I didn't find out anything about any drugs until the 2 years of being in a relationship with
Mm. And then after
him.
the 2 years of being in a relationship, you found out he was on drugs.
I found out he was doing cocaine.
Oh wow.
Yes,
Wow.
I found out he was doing cocaine in the second year of being with him.
Wow.
So after the that incident, what happened next, or um, what would
Which,
what would have been the next incident?
which
Oh,
after the one.
After the
when
choke, after he choked you and you woke up. What happened after that? What was the next, or how long was the period in between the time that he would? I'm sorry, I ain't gonna do it again. Okay, it's been a week. It's been 3 weeks. How long in between that time? What was
Uh,
the time frame
it was
that he
like
would do it again?
months, like months had passed by, gone by.
Okay,
Months had gone by,
and then it
and
happened again.
and it happened again.
What happened in this second incident, if you can
Within the
remember?
second incident, we had another disagreement.
Was
Um,
it a small one, or what do you think
it
it
was an
was?
argument. Well, yes, it wasn't. It wasn't. Well, it was mainly in the beginning. It was like he would put his hands around my throat.
No, no, no. I'm saying, was it a small incident, or you think it was
Yes, it was. It was a disagreement. It was a
just a
disagreement.
small, just what?
Disagreements,
I don't want
argument.
chicken. You want chicken? I mean, what kind of disagreement you think it was? If you can
Mm.
remember. I mean, the reason I'm asking is because we're trying to see how minute these incidents happen from what kind of situation, because it could be, oh, you didn't do this like I told you, pop, pop, pop,
well, small or big,
No, it
the
was
Right,
never
man don't
like
have
that.
a
It
right to
was
put his
never.
hands on a woman.
exactly.
And
But I'm trying to
small or
see what the
big.
drugs or
I
how,
mean,
what do you
that
think
didn't.
caused it?
I mean, I don't know what caused it. I don't know what caused a person to tick.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You don't
Hmm.
never know what causes a person to tick. You don't never know what's on their mind and what causes them to, snap. You get what I'm saying? It could be any, it could be various of things.
Right. But
And at that point, at that time, it was like, we having a disagreement
hmm
about something. I can't remember what it was, but I just remember the times of different, it happened on different occasions.
So after that particular incident with the disagreement, things started to escalate, and you realized that he was being more and more aggressive. Did he begin to be more and more aggressive?
Yes, after I found out about, right, okay, when I found out about that he was doing cocaine,
Mm-hmm.
um, he wasn't angry about me finding out.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, he was real emotional about it.
Mm.
Like, and I was trying to, encourage him that it's a way out. You don't
Right.
have to do that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same sense, when I would try and encourage him, that you got a decision. You get what I'm saying? You can make a decision on whether you want to do this or not.
Mm-hmm.
And he chose to continue to do it.
Mm.
You know, he
Mm.
chose to continue to do it. And but I start to see a shift in his moods.
Mm-hmm.
His mood swings start changing.
Right.
And that's when he started getting more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he started getting more aggressive. He started doing stuff like, just causing arguments, picking fights, and it would mainly be about guys. It would mainly be about whether I'm dealing with one of my clients or not.
Yeah,
That's what it was about.
Right.
Yes, it was mainly jealousy. And it wasn't even just that being, jealous about guys. He just had a jealous spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the time, like I said, me being a stylist, I was making money. He wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it was jealousy there.
Mm-hmm.
It was stemming from a lot of places.
Right. Wow. So go ahead and tell us a little deeper on. You can continue to and I know you said after that, y'all start having a little bit more issues. So what happened after that?
Well, I'm just gonna kind of tell you about what happened with what happened to me with the shooting.
Okay.
If that's okay. When that time came at the end, I was kind of really tired of just being in a relationship with him, period.
Okay.
Because I wasn't happy. And I got tired of the arguing and the fussing.
Mm-hmm.
And so several times, I would try to get away from him by staying to myself or, being at home or leaving, going over to my family's house or something like that, just to stay away from home.
Mm-hmm.
But he would always come to my house. He would always come to my house uninvited and just show up.
Mm.
And so,
with no disregard of the police or anything, just didn't care.
None. He didn't care. And if I would call, I would call the police. He didn't care anything about it. He'll leave and he'll try it again. So it's just like he didn't have a fear of nobody.
Right.
So
he didn't care if they say, hey, don't come around to this lady's house. Don't do this. Don't do that. He didn't care about any of that.
Right.
He'd walk away and come right back.
Right. He would leave and he'll wait a couple of days and he'll do it again.
Hmm.
He just didn't care.
But you did call the police.
Right, I did.
Okay.
So on several occasions, I called the police.
Wow.
I filed police reports, 12 to be exact.
Wow.
I called, each time he did something, I would call the police.
Mm-hmm.
And before domestic violence became a felony,
Mm-hmm.
those things didn't take effect. And then he would. A matter of fact, the day that it really took effect on him is when I called the police. Me and my daughter was home, and he came to my house uninvited. And when he came to my house uninvited, he was trying to fight me in front of my daughter, and I couldn't allow my daughter to see that. Mm-hmm. I couldn't let my daughter think that, hey, this is how a man's supposed to treat her.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I told my daughter to leave and go over to a neighbor's house and call the police. Mm-hmm. And so I managed to make it out of the house to my truck, and I was able to get my taser. So I was, going to tase him with it if he tried to harm me. Mm-hmm. But he stood outside. He stood out there when I had the taser. He was waiting for the right time so he can grab it out my hand. Mm. And so he waited till I looked away because my daughter called me while she was standing outside. And so at the minute I took my eye off of him, he grabbed the taser. Mm. So I was already scared because he was, way bigger than me. Mm-hmm. He was way taller than me and stuff. And so I thought he was gonna, do something worse to me. And so I sat there, but my daughter was able to call the police, and the man that let her use the phone, the neighbor. So the police came right on, and so they when the police came, he was still there, and they talked to him, and he said that I don't have any warrants, and the police was like, they ran his name, and he was like, well, today you have a warrant, and you have 12 to be exact. So it took effect that day.
Right. The day that he was acting up.
Yes, the day that he was acting up, he was bold enough to stay until the police came.
Wow.
He felt like, hey, I don't have no warrant. They checked me the night before. I didn't have no warrants. So it took effect that day.
Wow.
Yes,
and they took him on.
They took him to jail. And so I felt like I had some leeway space in between that. And actually he stayed locked up for a good little while. He stayed locked up for a while. But the biggest incident that was on my part was, he stayed gone for 8 months.
Wow.
He stayed gone for 8 months, and I made the biggest mistake by, allowing myself to return. After that period of time of being separated from him, that was my way of escape. God had gave me my way of escape.
Right.
And I went back, and that last time was the worst. It was the worst.
Right.
And that was when he that October 31st on Halloween.
Wow.
He almost took my life. I was in a relationship. Well, not really such as a relationship. Well, it was I was dealing with someone, and the night before he came and he jumped on me the night before, the guy, and which was my abuser. Because I told him I didn't want to be with him anymore, and that was it, and I was fed up. I just didn't want to be with him anymore. And so he jumped on me that night before, and I didn't know, and then at the time I was staying in a hotel. I was staying in a hotel at that time, and so he wound up. He left after we got into it. He left, but he came back that next day. That next day he came back to finish the job. 2 weeks before then, he had already said that he was gonna shoot me. He said that he would shoot me and he would shoot the guy, not knowing, he didn't know if I was talking to someone else or not. He just knew that I had a crush on somebody. So and it was not him. So he would, come by my job and, just stalk me. And so when I went home that night from working, back to my room that night, which I was living, he came there, and the person that I was talking to was there with me. He took me home. And so he came there and he seen the guy car there. So he kicked my whole entire door off the hinges.
Wow.
Yeah, he kicked the door down, and he tried to kill the guy, and he tried to kill me also.
Wow.
But at the time he was trying to kill the guy, he couldn't, he was trying to shoot him, and the bullets wouldn't, come out the gun or whatever. But I wanted him to focus on me, because I didn't want him to hurt the person that I was with.
Wow.
And so I got him to focus on me, and when he did realize that it was me standing in front of him, that's when he turned to me. And I remember him hitting me with the gun, but I also remember when he swung around to shoot, that my hand hit the gun, and the bullet went to it split my eye open. So, but I didn't know I was hit until he was leaving. I had a cross on my neck, and I was rubbing the cross on my neck, and it was slipping out my hand, and I looked down, and my hand was full of blood.
Wow.
And so I came back. I mean, I was in the bathroom looking at myself. I could barely see out of the eye, out of my left eye. And so I started screaming, saying, "He shot me! He shot me!" And so he was already halfway across the parking lot, and he heard me say that he shot me. And so I was coming out of the bathroom, and he was coming back in the room to finish the job. And so I threw my hands up towards him. I thought he was just going to go ahead and do what he came to do. But he pushed me out of the way, and he went for the person that was in the room. But I know even in the midst of wrong, I know that God was still with us in that room.
Yeah.
And that God was still protecting us, even though that God needed me to see that, I was in harm. I wasn't just the only one in harm's way, the person I was with. And at the same time, God was letting me know that it's time for you to walk away from this situation.
Right.
But I didn't lose my life that day, but I could have.
Right.
And God spared me, and and I'm grateful for that.
Right. Wow. That is a powerful testimony that you have. And to know that you are a 9-year survivor from domestic violence. And so what are you doing now nowadays with that testimony?
Well, I have now I'm in a group that I'm a member of. And it's called Soul Recovery. And Soul Recovery is on Facebook, it's on Instagram, and it's a program that's for women that they assist with breaking generational cycles, and building inner healing from domestic violence.
Right.
So that I connect with different women that has gone through some of the same familiar things that I've gone through. And there we find healing with each other, and we get a chance to embrace each other, love on each other, encourage one another, and it's like Soul Recovery, they have like various of they provide various of workshops during the month, and in viral meetings and things like that. So it really helps, because that, to me, that's like my therapy. That's like my therapy. And then it helps me to be able to talk to other young girls that is experiencing things like that right now today.
Right.
And I get a chance to talk to them. They're not in groups or anything like that, but I have various of people that come up to me and be like, I heard about your story, and I heard about what you went through, and I'm going through this certain situation, and y'all, I get a chance to talk to them,
right?
Encourage them that if you see the signs, in the beginning, and you got that gut feeling, don't ignore it,
right?
Don't ignore it,
ignore it.
And then.
That's a for sure thing. Don't ignore the signs that's always in the beginning.
It's always there. We just sometimes get blinded by what we think is love.
Right.
What we think is love, we get blinded by that stuff, and we sometimes ignore the signs. Right. But they are always there.
Right.
They always there. And so, I just like I said, I just try to encourage the young ones that, if you got parents, you got aunts, you got somebody you close to, talk to them. Let them know what what's going on.
Right.
So, don't hide anything.
So if you can go and help any young lady today, being in a situation that you was once in, what would be your exact words to speak to them? What would you say?
Repeat that for me one more time.
Okay. If to help any young lady who looks like she was in a situation that you were in, what would be your words of encouragement or helping her out And
Ooh.
yeah, what would be your words? How would you help
First,
her?
I would pray with her.
Right. Okay. Good.
First, I would pray with her off the bat. I would pray for her. I would pray for her, pray with her, and I would hug her, love on her, and I would just, point out resources resources, because that's what it's about. We, even though we become survivors, God has put forth resources for us. He's provided resources, all kind of programs. So I would actually just, point her to, where others have pointed me to that helped me,
Right.
that brought me peace, what I'm saying, brought me,
Right.
to a point where I'm finding healing daily,
Right.
So
and I
give
would
that
keep her
young.
encouraged, just, try to at least build a little relationship with her, those ones that, God allowed me to,
Mm-hmm.
but like I said, it would be mainly to, let her know that, don't isolate yourself. Don't never feel like, you were the problem.
Right.
Don't never feel like you're the blame because somebody decided to put their hands on you. It's not your fault.
That's good. That's
It's
good.
not your fault because, you know, um, nobody has the right to chastise you. In no relationship, a man does not have the right to chastise you.
Right. Right.
He does not have the right to put his hands on you
Right. That's good.
or control you in no kind of way.
That's
You
good.
know, you're not to blame.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're put in that position, then you're able to see it right off the bat, be open enough to tell somebody about it. Be open enough to, to be strong enough to walk away.
Right, right. Have the initiative and the smarts to
You know,
recognize and walk away.
when you,
And
yeah,
before
when
the
you
feelings are
recognize it,
caught, and before you get too deep, before you fall in love, and before you have kids, and before you take a ring saying "I do" because he hit you,
yeah,
always look at the signs. Always that's like my
because they in
boy,
the
my
beginning.
boy Ryan says, clutch.
Yeah,
That's
clutch.
clutch.
That's
Pay
clutch.
attention to your
Yeah,
signs
pay
at
attention
all
to your sign.
times.
Yeah, right. So look, Latonya, I got one final question for you. I know that you got some big things coming up in the future, and I hope to see them manifest here shortly. But tell us a little bit about that before you go.
Um, well, I wanted to create a page, a YouTube page, where I can, allow different women from all walks of life that has experienced domestic violence, and they're in their new beginning of transitioning from the old to the new,
Mm,
and they're stepping out, and they're allowing God to lead them. You know what I'm saying? In their new beginning, I want to be a part of that by, like offering my services, like you know, me being a hairstylist, just and a makeup artist. I want to be able to make them over, to
so
make them over, not per se make them over, because that is God's job.
right.
I want to be a part of that transition.
Yeah,
I want,
just
Feel
show
good
them,
about this.
show them their beauty, their worth, and all that.
right,
Yeah,
right.
okay,
And
gotcha.
I just want to, I just want to interview them and give them a chance to tell their story, and and take them back and do a makeover over them,
Mm,
to be to help them in their new beginning.
right. Well,
That's
look.
what I want to do.
Wow. Well, we're gonna be looking for that in the future. We're gonna be keeping in touch with you, and you give us that information, and we'll put it on our page so that we can share it with these different people, different women. So
Can you one time give a shout out to the what's the name of the group that helped you?
Soul Recovery.
Soul
It's called
Recovery.
Soul Recovery. It's on
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram, and it's Soul, SOLE,
mhm,
Recovery.
right.
Okay.
And you said
And
this
it's a non-profit too. It's a
right.
non-profit base.
Wow. Okay. And so they help women with domestic violence situation. Do they do anything else besides that?
Well, it's very when they go on and they because it's a private group
Mm-hmm.
for just for women, so they can feel secure and they can
Good.
be
Okay.
okay with opening up.
Mm-hmm.
So once they go into the group, they will let them know about all the programs, little things that's coming up in the near
Oh.
in the near future that will provide any kind of assistance that they need at that time.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll try to post something here shortly about soul recovery. Also, we're gonna put the domestic violence phone number up there. But Latonya, we thank you for calling and sharing your story with Turn or
Oh,
Burn.
thank
I
you.
appreciate it
So
also.
yeah, you gave us a lot of insight, and
We hope we help somebody out tonight.
yeah, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
pray. I pray it did. I really do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it did. You know that's a powerful testimony, and by being a 9-year survivor, that speaks volume. You know that's
Right.
just showing how mighty God is. You know, so um, like I said, we thank you for being a part of the Turn or Burn podcast on today. So we look for to hearing big things from you in the future, Latonya.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. You're welcome.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye. Man,
Well.
what do you think about that story, man?
Yeah. Shot and left for dead.
Yeah.
For love.
Yeah. And the thing that got me
For
is,
love.
yeah, for love, for the sake of love.
At least they thought it was love.
Right.
Love don't do that.
Yeah, no, love don't do that. And the thing about it is, the part that got me is when she said that he heard her say, he shot me.
So now
and
he knows
stopped the car
she's not dead.
and coming back to finish the
finish.
job. You know that?
Trying to get rid of the witness.
Yeah, or I mean, it's just the point of like, man, that's crazy.
That's deep. Yeah.
That couldn't nobody do that but God that save her at that point in time.
But did you hear the part where she said, excuse me, that he tried to shoot him first
Right.
and the gun would not fire?
Right. That's what I said. Nobody
That's
but
crazy.
God. Yeah. So
But turned the gun towards her and it fired.
right. Wow.
He had the grace of God over him.
Yeah, and she did.
She did too.
Because it didn't
But
kill her.
it didn't kill her.
Right.
But he definitely had some grace.
Right, and listening to, because I hear a lot of domestic violence story during this season, and it just bring a whole new awareness. I'm a father,
Yeah.
and I think about, hey, I got a young lady.
Not only are you a father, but you're a father of a daughter.
Yeah.
Me too.
So
I have a 15-year-old myself.
Right. So I'm thinking in my head like, oh, okay, I need her to know that at no point in time is it acceptable for a man to hit you. You know, and I need her to know that it's not acceptable.
I want to know if he's wrestling too hard.
Oh, let
what
me
I mean?
know, because I'm gonna
wrestling. I want to know if he. I want to know how hard he wrestling.
Okay, because that AK-47 with the potatoes on the top of it coming out. It's got to come out.
It's coming out.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, it's not okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not okay for a woman to hit a man. I look at it.
Thing,
Yeah. So at the end of the day, my motto is
Big Karen can't be hitting on little Jimmy.
Oh yeah. but believe it or not, do you know that's happening a lot?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I have seen some guys in some real domestic violent relationship.
Right.
Like the woman is tearing him up, and I'm looking like,
knocking him around.
Yeah, but
Sitting on the couch.
Yeah, but do a man go to the police and hey,
she beating on me?
Yeah,
man,
I mean
man.
that but or it even get a little worse,
verbal. I mean, just thinking about not only hitting, but just imagine the verbal abuse that a man gets from a woman who thinks she's better or at a more value. She thinks she's more valuable than him because maybe she get a check every month and he don't work anywhere. Or maybe she working hard and he's at home being the skirt wear. I don't know what it's called. The skirt wear. I don't know.
What you said? The skirt wear.
Yeah.
you need to find some pants to put on.
Get some britches on.
Yeah, you need to get some pants to put on. So
But, you know, just imagine the verbal abuse that you could get from a woman who's, you know, thinks she's more superior,
right?
And maybe the breadwinner of the family,
right?
But you know, that verbal abuse can be just as bad as physical abuse, you know, because it's mentally breaking you down one argument at a time, or one phrase at a time, or one curse word at a time. Right. You know, every day you got to deal with this, and you getting depressed, so it could cause you harm. And as far as depression, right, you don't want to leave because you got kids. You know, y'all got kids together, so you feel obligated, and she know you feel obligated, so she's taking advantage of the situation by verbally abusing you until you don't. Either you're gonna decide to leave, or you're gonna fight back. Right. And if you think about the situation, if you're gonna fight back, how you plan on fighting back if you're a man who's verbally being abused by a woman? How would a man try to regain that masculinity? He's gonna try to hit her to make her shut up. And now you got a whole big mess, big ball of domestic violence.
I just walk out the door.
I would. You gotta be a man. You gotta be man enough to do it. You know, you can't be afraid. You can't be scared to lose her. You know, I think in a lot of situations they may be scared because now I ain't gonna have a place to stay, or the biggest one, now I gotta pay child support. You know, I think that's like a big factor in domestic violence and why couples will not split child support. Wow. The man gotta man up and be ready to pay the child support. If that's what you want to do,
sometimes it might be worth it for that peace of mind.
For that peace of mind, you know, so exactly.
It just depends on. Did I tell you about that Facebook post that I saw about the girl who was doing a? I guess she was about to get ready to do a prank on this young guy. She was a young girl, and she had set her phone down, and she had walked to the bed and sat on the side of the guy or whatever. And I couldn't hear what she was saying, but I heard what the guy was saying, and he was like, "Stop playing!
Yeah, don't play with me like that.
Stop playing." And so
it was only a few words, and then he went to hauling in.
Man, I'm talking about he got his fist and just start wielding on her. I'm talking about like boom, 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 like Mike Tyson, you know. Right. And I'm thinking in my head like, wow, this girl just took, and she was just falling up, taking like, you know what I'm saying? And so my thing is, at what point in time does young or this? My better question is, who is not teaching these girls their value?
Right. Because the value is definitely not getting big.
Yeah. So and the only reason why a young girl would accept that is because she don't value herself, or she don't feel, or what is the word I'm looking for? She basically she don't value herself. Right. It's low self-esteem, you know, or she don't think she can do better, you know.
Or that's one situation, but I could see another situation as if, when she was growing up, that's what she saw.
The same thing, right.
She saw her mom being abused by and still man. Staying.
Right. So it's a generational thing.
It can be. Right. I mean, we can't say that's exactly what it was, but those are two different scenarios that could cause the woman to accept domestic violence on a regular basis, or for it to be something that's common in the home. Referring to the video that you was talking about, I could hear somebody in the background or maybe in the next room saying, "Y'all cut that mess out." So that puts me in the mindset that this is a regular thing, or they argue all the time, or it's always some kind of drama going on in this couple's life. But I showed the video to my daughter. She's 15. I'm expecting her to have a boyfriend one day. Not today. But one day, you know.
Not today.
But one day it's gonna happen,
know,
you know.
yeah.
But I want her to realize that this is not acceptable.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And if it happens, I need to know about it. You know, like I said, I want to know if he's wrestling too rough.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I know young people wrestle, they play, and
I don't want nobody wrestling.
Right, I know, but it's inevitable. You know, they play and they rough around. You know, but I want to know if he's taking cheap shots trying to hurt you or letting you know that he's in authority. You know, by playing a little too rough. You know, but I'd like to know.
Yeah.
You know, I really wish she'd tell me if it happened.
She gonna see that. She gonna see the flip side of me come out.
Yeah,
okay.
man. But you know, but everybody's got to live and learn. But domestic violence is just unacceptable. You know,
it is unacceptable.
And I don't want them saying. One thing I don't want people to know is that I want people to know is drugs and alcohol are not drugs, alcohol, work, stress are not reasons for abuse.
Yeah.
Abuse is done because of choice.
It is.
You know,
it's a choice.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice that person made. They could have punched a wall. They could have played basketball. They could have beat a wall. They could have took a bat, beat the whatever. But you chose to hit a human being that has less power, feminine, not enough strength to fight back.
Or a man, you know.
Or man.
Somebody who you
Or man. Yeah, you're right. But it's a choice. It's not the alcohol, it's not the drugs. It's a choice that they made. And maybe the drugs and alcohol intensified whatever was already there.
Right.
That's what I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So, guys, this was a pretty deep topic on today, talking about domestic violence. We actually have a 1-800 number as far as you can contact. If you going through domestic violence, you can be anonymous and just kind of get resources that you can use. That number is going to be 1-800-799-7233. And again, that's 1-800-799-7233. And like TPZ said, hey, we don't condone domestic violence, you know. I don't even condone hitting a wall, putting a hole in a wall, you know.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're a man and you listen to this and you beating your old lady, that only shows scarcity. You're scared to lose that woman. You're trying to scare her into staying with you, and it ain't gonna work long.
Well, you know, a lot of times they say that, you know, a man that hit a woman won't hit a man. You know,
but you know,
he be slow to hit a man, but he quick to hit a woman.
Yeah.
I hear that so much.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's only showing scarcity. He's scared. You know, he's scared of losing what he got. You know.
Right. So, guys, that was another topic of Turn and Burn. We look forward to seeing you on our next podcast. So, you guys be blessed. We'll see you next time. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
I'm T Peasy.
I'm B Reezy.
Turn or burn.